Welcome to SML Total Access, where we break down news, predictions, and more in our Madden League. Now, let's get fired up for SML football.
Hello and welcome back to SML Total Access. I am your co-host, Primetime000, and with me today is my trusted weekday co-host, Coop. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, not much. How's it going?
Oh, I'm fired up because it is playoff time. Tonight we're going to advance to the Season 37 playoffs, so I'm jacked up and ready to go.
Yes, sir. I got some celebratory bourbon here.
There you go. We'll pretend we see it as you're flashing it in front of your microphone. Let's go ahead. Let's get to first down here on the show. And this was brought up, I think, by some recent events in chat. I've also seen it before, but do you ever gain confidence or take anything away from a loss or better yet, even a loss you might not have been in that much?
Yeah, sometimes I do. It kind of depends. Sometimes you can come away with a loss and feel like you did everything right. And it's like, how was I supposed to win that game? But I kind of wanted to shift this a little bit towards do you take anything from like a blowout?
Yes.
Yes. So I made a certain person mad in the chat. And I think it was more just because maybe I was poking him a little bit too much, right after a loss. And, he doesn't like losing. But, Dump got blown out the other day right after I picked him to be the best person in the NFC West. He had 6 turnovers. He ended up losing by 17. And he posted it in chat that, I had 6 turnovers and I only lost by 17. But the problem with that is he was down by like 20 plus points for basically the whole game until the last 20 seconds. And he scored a touchdown to bring it a little closer. But yeah, you can kind of take some stuff away. Like if it's a blowout, your opponent's not going to play the same way. So,
right.
They're going to kind of take their foot off the gas, run clock. But if you can keep it close and maybe clean up on some mistakes, watch your game and watch some highlights and see what you did wrong. There's definitely things you can take away, but I just had to pick on Dump there. He had a bad game and it just kind of snowballed early, but
Yeah, no,
that's kind of my thoughts on that.
I agree. I think that I've had some games, for example, week 17, I played Dan, and I didn't use my normal plays, and I'd imagine he didn't either. He had his starters in the full game, and I had my quarterback in because I was trying to get some stats, but I wasn't really. Anyway, long story short, my defense, my second and third string defense was playing against his first string offense, and I felt like I was playing him well, even though I wasn't calling my normal plays and whatnot, and I felt like good about that. But now, let's say, like I played Bomber 2 weeks prior, and he whooped me down pretty good. I didn't gain any moral victories out of coming up with just BS excuses because you got your butt whooped. Like I don't know. It seems sorry. Just like you're just coming up with excuses. It does seem like a sorry way to go about things. I like just saying, hey, good game, you whooped my butt, good knock. Hopefully next time I can return the favor and lick my wounds and continue on.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes stuff's going to happen. I mean, I played D-Muse for the first time. I kind of kept that game a little bit close, but like it started off and I think his first drive, like I just got a random, fumble return for a touchdown. I was like, oh boy, here we go. Madden's going to do this when I'm playing somebody good.
Yeah.
But he got one the other way like later on, so it kind of evened out for that. But I mean, stuff can happen, and I mean, you can start playing different when you get behind. I mean, it can go a lot of different ways.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Dookie was kind of notorious for getting blown out and then gaining a moral victory out of it. I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that. Let's go ahead. Let's move on now to second down. NFC guys, I've seen this a lot in chat, and I kind of want to see your opinion on it. A Bomber actually talked to me about it a little bit in private. What's with these NFC guys talking about, oh, hey, I have a second or third place NFC schedule this year in my division if I lose? I've seen Graham mention it maybe once or twice. I've seen Mike mention it. What's the deal with this?
Maybe just because we're talking trash to each other all the time.
Yeah.
You got guys like me and Mike, who will have a losing season or our best, is kind of, like hitting 500 or right out of the playoffs.
Mhm.
So yeah, maybe, somebody like us, it might make a big difference if we're playing, a second place schedule versus like a fourth place schedule.
Yeah.
Now I think he said he got 4 wins and he's second in the division, which
Yeah, this is bad.
I don't know how that's even possible. It just kind of happened out that way this season.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know how serious guys are about that.
No.
I've been playing a losing schedule every season and still can't do anything with that. So
Yeah, I question how much is the difference in a second and third place schedule to a first place schedule anymore in the SML. I feel like there's not that big of a difference at this point. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there still is a big difference, but like the difference in playing Polly and playing Matt is not that much. I feel, and Matt would be a second place, divisional schedule, whereas Polly would be a first place. Now, if you're playing NFC North, obviously the jump from Faz to Mike or um, Fig or Hova is quite a big jump. Um, anyway,
yeah, maybe it's just an NFC thing.
yeah,
There's maybe some more guys there that are in the middle.
yeah,
I know they kind of say the AFC is just top heavy, which the same guys are making the playoffs every year. But yeah, maybe it's something in the NFC where they feel like they have a better chance against some of those mid tier guys versus the bottom feeders, like I am
yeah.
sometimes.
No, don't. You're being too hard on yourself. Let's move on. Speaking of NFC, Faz. What's going on with Faz? Does he? I kind of called him out. This is third down. Is Faz soft? Does he not have the it factor?
Fez is I will say he's soft in the fact that he's like a human teddy bear. I mean,
Yes, yes.
Fez is a nice guy.
Very nice.
But as far as Madden goes, I would say no, other than he keeps taking vacations during the playoffs, so I don't even know like what you can say about. I think he was leading the NFC as of today with a bye, but I think RD might have taken that with a
Yes,
win.
correct.
But yeah, so he missed another playoffs too, correct?
He
Like season 2 or 3.
I know he almost missed the last playoffs, but Royce was able to get the game in with him somehow, and Royce actually won
Oh,
the game.
okay.
So
He woke him up early, so he wasn't ready, didn't have his
Uh-huh.
caffeine,
Yes,
and then,
yes.
he got whooped.
Mhm.
So, yeah, maybe Faz just needs more sleep and his PlayStation with him in the playoffs. So,
Yeah, I feel bad. He's a good player, and he all his yeah. I couldn't imagine you could time that up any worse. Your ski trip right in time with the SML playoffs last year. It was a tight fit, and then season 1 or 2, no, season 2 it was. He blew the lead in the Super Bowl. I don't think that Faz is soft, but certain guys have magic. Like it seems like they always find a way to win and get the job done. And it seems like Faz right now is just bad luck and not having any magic at all. He's cursed, and maybe the Faz curse is indeed the curse on himself. Uh, so
maybe he's like the '90s Buffalo Bills. He's got enough to get to the Super Bowl and just never make it
yeah,
past that.
he's Marv Levy, I think. He's I like Faz. He's a great guy. He's a great guy, but right now I'm labeling him as soft. I'm calling Faz soft. So I'm questioning the it factor. You got a poster in your room. You've got Michael Jordan. You've got Kobe Bryant. You've got Tom Brady, Tiger Woods. I'm not putting Faz up there with those guys. Also, shout out Tiger Woods. Hopefully he's all right, by the way.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was wild. Let's move on now. Fourth down, playoff time. SML. We're advancing tonight. Hopefully this drops before then. What's your playoff predictions? Do you have any wild card upsets? Do you have any divisional round guys you got your eye on? Is Dan going to go back again? Is Field going to make a run at things? Do you have any just kind of things you want to spout off about the playoffs?
Yeah. So, let's see here. Pulling up the schedule real quick.
Yeah, it's
So
oh, go on.
Meats is on a slide, which he said himself. So I'm expecting Meats to maybe have an early exit, which that's, kind of like the Madden 20 folding chair coming back here, maybe.
Yes,
As he's kind of tapered off at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the seeding's going to work out. So I think if you end up having to play Dan before the AFC Championship, that could give you some problems.
No way. No, there's no way Dan and I play before AFC Championship.
No?
No.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was looking at that the other day and I couldn't figure out like who was going to be matched up.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have if that's the case, I'll have you and Dan in the AFC Championship. I'm gonna pick Dan, but you never know. I mean, maybe DK has a little miracle happen.
Make Metcalf miracle.
It's Madden. I mean,
you never know.
It's Madden. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
I'm actually gonna go and flip what I said a week ago when I picked Dump as the best in the NFC West to win a Super Bowl. He had that like that meltdown game. I know he picked it back up after, but yeah, now RD is in the first seed and he's got a bye.
Yeah,
he's been in a lot of Super Bowls in the past league that we were in with Mike. So I know, I mean, I think he barely beat Meats there, like one of those weeks. I mean, that was a really close game, like 1 point. I didn't get to watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm going to say that RD is going to make it out of the NFC over everybody, and hopefully he doesn't think that jinxes him. But yeah, so Meats for an early exit. Probably the same is going to happen, unfortunately, with Future, just depending on who he gets matched up against. Yeah, I think I'll quit there before I make anybody else mad with my predictions.
No, that's good. That's good. I think RD has a great shot at it, actually. And NFC, there's nobody I feel good about everybody, but there's nobody I'm jumping up and down for quite like the AFC. I think Washington's a good team. I don't think Panthers is good enough to get through that rat race. Meats is battle tested. Dump somewhat battle tested. I think that RD, he's got the bye week. Fields going to end up playing Faz's CPU. So Fields going to be number 7 seed, and then he's going to go and play RD. And I think RD is going to be a favorite that game to win it. Fields a great player, but he still hasn't quite. Yeah, he's only played a few games since taking a few month-long break. That's going to be tough for Field to win that game. So I feel that Faz has or not Faz, excuse me, RD has a shot at his first, he's got the bye week. Then he's got Field, who might be rusty, and then he's ready in the NFC Championship game. So I think just based off of that alone, RD has a very good shot at making a Super Bowl. Looking at the AFC, I think it comes down to the big three, Dan, myself, and Bomber. I think if you want a wild card guy and there's nobody else, if you want a guy outside those three, it's Paulie. Coach Paulie comes prepared. Coach Paulie knows how he wants to beat you. It's just if he can execute that game plan with a bad Dolphins roster. That's going to be I don't see Future getting through. DW, his first playoff appearance, that's pretty cool. I like to see that. NYT, he's been there, hasn't ever really done that. He's made the Super Bowl once, lost. So I'm saying it's the big three, and if not, Paulie. And coming out of the AFC, I'm never going to bet against myself. So, that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, you got to go in with confidence, man.
You got to. But if not myself, I'm going to say, if not me, I'm going to say Dan. And if not Dan, then I'm going to say Paulie. I think that Bomber seems to have trouble getting past Dan, and it's likely that Bomber plays Dan in the divisional round. And until
that's tough.
It's like the Peyton Manning getting over Tom Brady thing. It's got to happen at some point, but it hasn't happened quite yet. So, and maybe this is the year. I don't know. Let's move on now to the extra point. What's your dream SML Super Bowl matchup? Conferences aside, like if the Broncos could play the Jaguars in the Super Bowl, Dan versus Bomber, stuff like that. What's your dream SML Super Bowl matchup?
Well, I may be going like kind of out of left field here. Not picking myself to ever actually get to a Super Bowl. Yes. So I'm just gonna kind of like make that as a dream that's never gonna happen. I'm actually gonna pick a couple of brother-in-laws here. I would like to see the Tennessee boys go at it. I think that would be fun. Would be fun. I mean, KJ and Tiny. I mean, Tiny talks way more smack than KJ does. But that would be a fun Super Bowl to have some people commentating and watch two of them go at it. I think they actually play each other pretty close when they play. They do. I think that would be fun. I couldn't think of like any, other than picking some guys that have been here a long time, like you versus Meats would also be like a fun
Yeah.
like matchup in the Super Bowl. But yeah, I thought I'd go a little off here with guys that didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I think I'd like to see a meats versus dump game just because I think they actually just don't like each other. I think that's fun. I think that another one that would be fun is Raider fan against the Raiders. Future versus Raider fan. Another kind of beef, like they don't like each other too much. I would love to see
Man,
that game.
yeah.
Another one I would actually like to see is Paulie. Oh Lord, who does Paulie not like? I forget off the top of my head. Paul. I like to see like a Paulie versus Rowan Cuh type of game. Maybe a Paulie versus Grams, a Paulie versus Mike FML game. Games like that. That sounds fun. Obviously, personally, I would like to take on Dan or Bomber in the Super Bowl. I think those would be good games to watch. Um, so
Yeah,
there's
for sure.
there's plenty of there's plenty of matchups that I would love to watch. I'd like to see Old Man Woods get in there and do some damage, really against anybody. But yeah, it's fun to think about. There's a lot of good matchups to be had in the SML. It's just if we can make them happen. So anyway, I know you said that you think Broncos are going and you think the Rams are going. So it sounds like you got Broncos Rams Super Bowl. Who do you pick to win it, real quick?
It's hard for me to pick against Dan at this point. I mean, he hasn't lost a lot of games the whole cycle. And I know like you and RD, you play in this league and that's it.
Hmm.
Uh Dan at least plays in one other league.
Yeah.
So I feel like that practice helps. That's it's kind of hard to bet against him right now. But I mean, anything can go the other way. I mean, there's not a big gap between like the top guy in the AFC versus like, the third best in the AFC, or, flip that in the NFC, like 1 versus 3. There's a lot of guys that could make it in there, but it's hard for me to bet against Dan right now until he like loses some games. I mean,
Yeah.
he
How
kind of blew the last Super Bowl and he made it 2 years in a row. So
Yeah, that's true. How big of a difference do you think that I know I'm going off script here. So final topic. How big of a difference do you think that playing in multiple leagues makes?
well, it depends. So it depends on whether your leagues have similar like settings. So I think
Hmm.
so a good example is Null. So Null plays in a league that is on, I believe it's on all Madden,
Yeah, I think so.
if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
So going between all Madden and all Pro, you can start to do things in one league or the other and kind of just switching just between those settings that can kind of mess you up in a way.
Yeah,
I know it'll mess you up with kicks if you're not used to
yeah,
kicking. The kick meter speed's different. Some of the AI reacts differently to different plays. So you might, see a guy open that's on all pro and then on all bad, and that's a pick six. I mean,
yeah,
it can hurt you and it can help you. So if you're playing in the same thing, um, that can help. You're getting more practice in. But like for me, when I was early on in the cycle practicing on competitive mode, like probably Field was before he came back,
hmm,
I think that helps you zero when you get in a sim league because
yeah.
the play is so different.
That's so true. It really does just depend on the game mode, but I'm sure if you're in 5 leagues or whatever, 3 4 leagues, it's got to help it. It's something. Repetition is a father of learning. But like you said, if it's a competitive league where you're doing user playmaker and all these sorts of crazy things that's not even allowed here, probably wouldn't help too much. Probably wouldn't help too much, especially with animations changing and all that stuff. No, that's good. That's
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
that's a good point. Well, we're nearing 20 minutes here almost, so I think we're going ahead and saying that's good. Coop, I appreciate you coming on again. The mic is yours if you have anything to say.
Yeah, dump up your gameplay, and I'll quit calling you out for saying that you were close by losing by 17. I
Oh,
want to see you win. And the Faz, you're only soft, when it comes to a cuddly teddy bear kind of way for me. So, just be here for the playoffs next time and surprise some people.
yeah, no, for sure. Faz, I like you. You have that alarm clock tattoo or whatever you got. I know that's impressive. So no, all in good fun, guys. That was a good show. I appreciate you coming on, Coop. Good luck, everybody, in the playoffs. Actually, not good luck to myself. I'm going for 17, guys. Everybody, thanks for listening. That was SML Total Access, the best show on the SML network. You guys have a great night.
Go Colts.